on the Alderman report.
I know yes, Mr. Mayor. I know we've talked about prioritizing these projects. One, just to be able to maybe help staff along as to what types of information we might be looking for. I would like to see us look at the Lake Bonita situation and know, what our options, where are we at, what types of things are we doing or can we do, just to maybe be a little more prepared for the next time we talk here, just to give Mike and the rest of the staff opportunity to gather that information.
Well, I'll share something with you, and he's present here tonight. Talked to Steve Bailey of Cat Construction, and he told me that he would meet with our city engineer and staff at Lake Bonita and see what we could do with that dam. Would you still do that, Steve? And that'll be a start. So we could maybe arrange that meeting with the city engineer and Steve and see what we can work out, getting up there.
Thank you.
Anything further on the Alderman's report? If not, we'll go to the department manager's staff report. And Hap, would you report on HAP drill?
This HAPS rule is something the EPA has required us to do, and it's actually a national emission standards for hazardous air pollutants. That's what HAPS stands for. It's the hazardous air pollutants, and it's for the engines at the power plant. And on June the 14th, which is our next council meeting, a representative from MPUA, Floyd Gilzo, and BHMG, our electrical engineers, Lincoln Duncan, will be here to give great detail on what's required and give us our options of what we need so we can make an informed decision. We won't need to make a decision on the 14th, but it would be nice to have a direction by the end of, or the first part of July, so we can work it into our budget.
Let me state that Hap and I went and sat through a lengthy seminar, if you will, on this issue, and this is going to be another item that you've never heard of before, but it's somewhere in the neighborhood of $300,000 if we should undertake it, and there's really no choice other than to get rid of our electric utility to upgrade these generators that we have. We have to do it within 3 years.
May 2013 is our deadline. We have choices of either no generation at all, put them on emergency standby, or do the upgrade. So
there's another $300,000 question for you, possibly. I think we'll have more information at the next meeting to discuss this. But
are we currently only using them for emergency standby now, based on the pool?
Emergency standby, and then when it does get hot, we do run them in also. So when the load gets there, basically the reason we come on when it gets hotter is the transmission lines aren't big enough to carry the extra amount of load that we're pulling. So that's why all the little towns in the pool help relieve the stress off the transmission lines. And if we do go to emergency status, then there's another expense there also, because you have to have load banks, which is basically a giant toaster, so that when you exercise the engines once a month, they absorb electricity, because when you do your exercise under emergency status, it cannot go out onto the system.
And this is kind of fits with what Paul was saying earlier as far as prioritizing projects. It may be that you have to look at what's mandated, what's coming down the pipe that's mandated first, and then everything behind that, is prioritized, because the mandated items will be the ones that we'll have to deal with immediately or within the very near future.
Also, too, the pool at the time that Mike and I went to the meeting, the pool didn't have all the answers to the questions that we were asking, and we're in hopes that you'll have more answers to our questions by the 14th of June when they're here. We chose to move forward on getting you the information because we don't, if we're going to do this, we don't want to wait till 2012 to start, because the equipment's hard to get to start with, and we don't want to wait till the last minute. But anyway, we'll provide you with the information on the 14th, and then hopefully by the first meeting in July, you'll be able to give us guidance on which direction we're going to go.
Are there any penalties in the pool for turning them off?
You don't get any energy credits for, because right now, every time I exercise the engines, we get credit on our bill for the exercise, and we'll lose that.
How much money are we talking?
Do you recall? We'd have to look at the bills. It's
Okay.
significant
We have
amount,
all-
it's many thousands of dollars, so.
I mean, if we have all that together to be able to
It varies.
really see what the cost would be compared to all the options.
I'll have Marcel put a list of the last 12 months together, how many credits we've received. I think we can provide that to you.
Marcella?
I just have a quick update to let all the aldermen know that the business licenses, I think, were mailed for renewals, and no, they weren't. They're supposed to be mailed for renewals by the end of the month. Those renewals come due July 1st, so that will be happening. So keep that in mind as we talk about the task force and the fact that we're coming up on renewals pretty quick also. The presentment of the fan press, if you remember, there was some information about the fan press and the sewer. We were looking at lease options. We really need to identify a revenue stream. I've asked several questions about possible grant funding, so we're still trying to explore that. And I know we've run into some critical issues on that side to get that done also. And the final thing that we have in, I think, the next item on the agenda is the NID improvements for the interchange. Just to remind you that there are no proceeds of $500,000 left to finish this project, so that will fund any engineering costs and construction needs to complete that project. Once we get that primarily finalized, then you'll see information from bond counsel, because we have to issue those bonds for a long-term period of time with Ritchie Brothers to finish that financing for those projects that we've completed over the last 2 or 3 years and complete that development agreement. Okay.
And just to be clear, that there is money already set aside, as she said. It's not coming out of general fund or any other fund, so it's already set aside as was left over for the NID project for Ritchie Brothers. So.
Old business,